Howard, excuse me, but your wife's cookies are out of this world.
Who told you you can eat my cookies?
Oh, these cookies! I gotta get the recipe from Les.
Put that cookie down! Now!
Dude, you never eat another man's wife's cookies.
Yeah, well, if she's putting them out there for you, you gotta grab them.
Listen, just because they're out there doesn't mean they're yours. You gotta avoid temptation.
I don't know, man. Where I come from, if she's putting them out there, you take them. You take what you can get. If they're there for you, you take them.
All right. Anyway, welcome back to The Last Row. This is part one of our two-part Christmas movie special. My name is Drew, and I'm here with my very good friend Badway. We want to welcome all new listeners. For those that don't know, this is a podcast where we watch movies that may not have been loved by the critics and try to find their silver linings.
Yeah, well, we'll discuss what worked, what didn't work, and we'll put our own little twisted spin on certain plots, maybe, explore the universe of the movie, so to speak.
I like it.
And I take all the cookies.
Yeah. So I guess not before we get into it, right? Everybody knows what we listen to based on the clip,
I would hope
assume,
so.
And the title of the episode. But
right.
Why don't you tell people about the movie?
Well, the movie we're watching is Jingle All The Way, 1996. Rotten Tomatoes score 17%.
I think that's a little low.
The critics don't like it.
That's low.
IMDb 5.3, which is also, that's 50-50.
What is this rated?
Controversial.
What is this rated?
Rated PG.
I got to tell you, this brings me back to Mighty Ducks. We did the first episode on Mighty Ducks. I feel like PG, there was some moments in here that I felt like would not fly in a PG movie today.
Oh, I definitely agree.
With all the innuendos and some of the language.
There's a lot of sexual innuendo in this movie, mostly on the hands of Phil Hartman.
Right. And I'm not complaining.
Right.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm a little surprised that it got a PG.
Right.
So anyway, what's the synopsis for this movie?
Well, the long story short, Jingle All The Way is about a workaholic dad named Howard Langston, who is Arnold Schwarzenegger, by the way. Howard Langston. Is that a name for...
No. For an Austrian man?
Yeah. No.
Howard Langston? No.
I mean, if you think about True Lies, Harry Tasker. that's along the same lines. Like, who are these name generators for Arnold?
We got to create one.
Yeah.
I know we did it for Jack Bauer on the Jack Bauer alias generator back in the day.
But they don't fit at all. I mean, the Jack Bauer aliases, they fit. But Harry Tasker and Howard Langston?
We might need to make an Arnold name generator.
Yeah. Anyway, Howard Langston wants to make things up to his son, Jamie, and his wife, Liz, for being kind of a deadbeat dad, a workaholic dad.
A crappy dad.
Yeah. He promises to get his son, Jamie, the hottest toy of the season, the Turbo Man.
Jamie!
The big toy Turbo Man. Even though it's Christmas Eve and the toy's sold out everywhere. Like, it's laughable. Nobody has it. This is 1996. So you can't go online and get it. As Langston hunts down the elusive gift, he runs into mailman Myron, played by Sinbad.
Classic 90s guy.
Yeah, and if you're under 30 years old, you're like, who? This guy's name is Sinbad. He was a stand-up comedian. He's pretty funny.
It's his actual stage name or real... I don't know what
his name is Sinbad.
But that's his name. We're not making this up.
His real name is Sinbad. And Sinbad, he's another father who's on the same quest. Last-second gift trying to get this Turbo Man. With the clock winding down, Langston's moral code is tested, and he starts to learn the real meaning of Christmas. Isn't that nice?
That sounds like a great movie, doesn't it? I mean, I don't think it's 17% worthy or 5.3 worthy, but I guess we'll get into it.
We'll get into why it was 17. I have my ideas on that, but
yeah.
Tell them how they get reaches.
Well, look, so if you're new to the show, welcome. We're glad to have you. We've done 2 episodes so far. Really enjoying it so far. If you have not already, you can find us on our website at thelastrowpodcast.com. You can follow us on Twitter, or if you want to tweet us, it's at thelastrowpod. Hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com/thelastrowpod. We're also on Google+. We also have a voicemail line, so you can call us, leave us any thoughts on any movies that you like. If you want to tell us what you think about this movie, hit us up. It's 415-779-LAST. That's 415-779-5278. And if you haven't done it and you're a listener of the podcast and you enjoy what we do, please head out to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. Let us know what you think. It really helps us out if you do that. Thank you to the 7 people already left us a review at this time. 3 text. You don't even have to leave us text. Just submit a review. It really does help us out a lot.
Yeah, so subscribe.
Yeah, and subscribe to us on iTunes. We're on all kinds of stuff. You can find us all on our website. We are going to be doing this for a long time now. So let us know what you think and hit us up.
Subscribe and the episodes come to you.
Yes. Directly delivered to your iPhone.
I'll hand deliver them.
Yeah,
on your iPhone.
Badway will hand deliver them to you to your iPhone. He will bring them to you through the electronic airwaves. So anyway, now that they know how to get in touch with us, let's just start talking about this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen this before?
I have seen it. Well, I didn't see it in theater, but I think I remember like renting it on VHS back in the day. And I remember I was maybe 12 or 13 at the time, and I didn't like it. I hated it. I thought it was dumb because I feel like the 12, 13-year-old range is not where this movie is focused.
I think you're right on that.
It's either for like a 7, 8-year-old or it's for an adult
that's
who
going
has
through
fond
this
memories of Arnold Schwarzenegger, or for maybe a parent.
Yeah, somebody that's trying to get the hot toy for their kid or something like that.
Yeah.
One thing that I think is cool about this movie is, so, for the people that grew up before us, I mean, we're children of the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, right? Our childhood was primarily in the 90s.
Yeah.
That gives you an idea.
Early to mid 90s was our wheelhouse.
That gives you an idea of how old we are. But at that point, I'd always grown up seeing A Christmas Carol on TV, and it was always on TNT, 24 Hours of A Christmas Carol.
Right. Yeah.
One of the things that I really like and appreciate now is the fact that this movie is now on reruns, and I think it's like TBS or something.
Yeah, they always run it.
24 hours of it.
Yeah.
And I actually saw this growing up. I didn't see it in the theater, but I did see it, like, my dad rented the tape or something when I was a kid. Yeah. And I loved it. I thought it was awesome. Like, I know that you said you didn't love it that much.
I didn't like it, yeah.
I just liked it. I liked Arnold at the time. I used to watch action movies, and it reminded me of Kindergarten Cop, which I also really like a lot. But this movie to me was a fun movie, and I hadn't seen it for a long time because I didn't really want to buy the DVD or something like that. Yeah. So when I was watching it, it started to show up on TV, and I got really excited. And I actually own this movie now.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to get to is I didn't like it as a kid, but I think I saw it for the first time since I was a kid about 3 or 4 years ago. And I loved it. It was like a night and day. It was like the switch had flipped, and I love this movie now, and it's a staple of my Christmas viewing.
It definitely is, right? I mean, it's a classic. Like, if you love Arnold, you're generally going to love this movie. And we'll get into what we really think of, like, the movie from a cinema quality.
Yeah, make no mistake, the movie's terrible. Yeah. But it's fun. You can put aside a terrible movie as long as it's fun, and this movie is very fun. And
I think where we come from, it doesn't need to win an Oscar to enjoy it. You don't need to have this crazy Leonardo DiCaprio performance.
Right. I mean, from the writing to the directing to the acting, most of it is bad, but it's just they're having a good time, and that's all that matters. And especially with the Christmas movie, if you think about Christmas movies, most of them aren't very good.
Yeah, you're right.
From a story standpoint,
you're right. Yeah, because I mean, there's nothing out there that I mean, even like these old school movies like Miracle on 31st Street and all that, they have very simple plots. Yeah, they're not like. I mean, there's some comedies that are pretty funny. I mean, this falls in that category, I guess. But you're right. From an Oscar-winning standpoint, what's the last movie that won an award? I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I mean, they all have flaws, but as long as it's fun, that's what matters.
So the last movie we watched was Gone in 60 Seconds, and that was about a relationship between two brothers, one really crappy brother and one older brother. This one deals a lot with like Arnold as a parent. But before we get into the relationships, I want to talk to you a little bit about just the toy and this whole idea of just Black Friday / any toys that you had as a kid. I mean, was there something that you wanted as a kid so bad that you wanted as much as this kid in this movie, that Turbo Man, I gotta have it?
Well, yeah, I remember very specifically, I don't know what year it was, but I was super into Ghostbusters, still am.
Yeah, who isn't, right?
Embarrassingly so.
Who isn't?
Yeah, I mean, I have toys, for now. As do you, as I'm looking at your shelf.
Yes. I'm looking at the picture of Vigo sitting behind you.
But back then, I mean, the real Ghostbusters, the cartoon, obviously the toy line, the Firehouse.
Yeah.
Wanted the Firehouse so bad.
Did your mom let you have the slime?
Well, that's the thing.
My mom wouldn't let me.
So come Christmas morning, I saw the box, and I was like, that's the freaking Firehouse. I knew it. Ripped that baby open. Yes, it was the Firehouse. No, the slime was not in there. It was pre-taken out by my mother. Still don't forgive her to this day.
So Mama Badway did the same thing that Mama Drew did.
It's bull.
She took the slime out because she didn't want to get the carpet dirty.
Can't make a mess. But you know what? I would have totally made a mess.
Yeah, me too.
It would have been all on the carpet. It's a great move.
That's called good parenting.
It's good parenting right there.
That's called good parenting.
I still hate her for it.
Yeah.
Lucky if she gets a call on Christmas from me.
I think, Ghostbusters is a big toy. the one that I think that really comes to mind when I think of Turbo Man and this toy, and you'll see it in the opening montage in this movie, where like Turbo Man's fighting these little monsters. It really reminds me a lot of Power Rangers.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
I mean, I've heard stories from my mom. My parents, I mean, I love my parents. They're amazing. They were so good to me growing up.
I love your parents too.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
They got me like all the Power Ranger toys, and like, I mean, kind of how you felt about the Ghostbusters stuff. I was really into Power Rangers as a kid. Like my brother and I were too, and like we got a lot of them. I cannot imagine what they went through to get these things. I like to imagine it was exactly like this movie.
So they were in high demand. See, I wasn't into the Power Rangers. We're about the same age, but for some reason I never really gravitated towards Power Rangers.
Yeah, I don't know why I liked it. It was on after school.
Everyone loved it. I mean, I wasn't trying to rebel against anybody. Yeah. I just, for some reason, it didn't catch on for me.
It was a fun thing. I mean, I think that like I can imagine our parents going through hell trying to get these things. So I mean, there's other toys like was it Tickle Me Elmo?
Tickle Me Elmo.
I mean, that wasn't for us.
That was after our childhood, but still, I remember that being a thing on news. Now, as far as the firehouse goes, I'm not sure if it was a hot toy. I don't think my parents climbed over people to get it. Maybe they did. But that's the thing. Also, about being a kid, you don't really know what kind of hell your parents went through on Christmas.
Didn't you have Optimus Prime too? I mean, that's like the coolest one.
I did have Optimus Prime.
See, that's awesome.
I think it was after the Transformers craze, though, so a little easier to get.
Yeah, but that's cool. I mean, those are the type of hot big ticket items, like
major characters. Gotta have them.
Like, but I like how in the movie Booster is this toy that nobody wants. It's like if they want Turbo Man, they can't get him. So it's like the shelves are just littered with Booster dolls.
The kids hate him,
and they hate him.
So Booster is this pink monster,
it's like a furry or something,
like a furry. But he's a good guy. He's Turbo Man's sidekick.
He's like a dog.
Yeah. He kind of looks like a dog or a wolf. But let me ask you this: Were you also disturbed by his gold underwear?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't even notice that until you mentioned it.
Yeah, it's this monster guy, dog. Like, it's a big furry suit.
Yeah.
But for some reason, its crotch is covered with these gold undies, right?
It's PG, man. I guess.
But it's like, you could make him, what is it? Is it anamorphous? I don't know.
I don't know what the
word for that.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you
just. I'm not an English major.
Not asexual. Like he just. No sex at all. It's just like an animal.
Androgynous.
Yeah,
that's the word. You don't. There doesn't have to be anything down there. But it's like he could just be like a regular dog. Like Cat in the Hat has no underwear on.
Yeah, know? I guess they're trying
Bugs
to.
Bunny has no pants on.
I guess.
Why does he have to have these gold Speedos on? He says gold undies. It really disturbed me.
I feel like I don't know. Maybe they're just. It's the superhero theme of like he's just wearing the pants or something. I didn't see it as a kid. Like I didn't like. I mean, I saw I didn't see the undies as a kid. Yeah.
It didn't really like.
You notice it now as an adult.
It didn't affect me. I noticed it and it really bothered me. I'm like, that's made it worse.
I mean, what's the modern day equivalent of something like Booster? I mean, is it the Power Rangers? Like, I mean, like you said, you weren't into Power Rangers, but like, is it, the putties or something?
Yeah,
if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Or like, say, you're looking for Donatello
on
Christmas morning and you open it up and you get a foot soldier.
Yeah, like a foot soldier.
You get April O'Neil. You're like, what the hell is this?
I mean, and you're not a collector at that point. Right. Like, you don't want the whole set. You want the
want the star. You want the main attraction. And I got April O'Neil. What am I going to report the news?
I would love to hear what our listeners, what are some of the toys that you guys got as kids that you love? What are the toys that you got that you didn't want? I mean, like, what was your Booster?
Yeah, any Christmas disappointments?
I want you guys to write into us. So send us an email or tweet us. It's at the Last Row Pod or the Last Row Podcast @gmail.com. Let us know what you guys think, because I mean, we have a whole list of them. I leave them on the comments.
Yeah.
On the SoundCloud player that we have, you guys can leave comments on the recording. So leave them at this point. I think that'd be pretty cool to get some.
I'll share a quick Christmas disappointment. It's so stupid. I remember it.
Yeah,
like it was yesterday. I wanted the Addams Family movie on VHS.
On VHS,
you know, the one with Raul Julia, and Lloyd and all that, like the main one, right? I wanted that. I wanted it so bad because the movie was really cool. Open it up Christmas morning, VHS tape. It was the Addams Family TV show.
Oh my god, the cartoon?
No.
Oh, the old
one. And I was so mad. Like, I was such an asshole.
Oh my god,
such a jerk to my mom. And I apologize.
Man. No, there's such a thing as
I was disappointed, but like as a kid, it's like you're so focused on the toy. It's like that's the horrors of Christmas.
There's a thing. I mean, obviously you grew up now, and like before you had the tact and before you had the ability to not feel bad about that kind of thing.
You could fake a bad gift anytime now. It's so easy. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it, dear.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess, I mean, that's kind of how we feel about the toys, and I think there's a lot of modern equivalents of this thing, but I mean, there's a lot of other thoughts that I kind of have initial thoughts on this movie. I mean, I don't want to get into all the details, but
Yeah.
I'll give you a couple off the top of my head. I know we're going to dive into them.
Yeah, go for it.
I love Arnold. It's a classic kids Arnold movie. I also wrote down that I love Phil Hartman in this movie.
Yeah, he was the best actor of the movie
He's
by
awesome.
far. He was great.
Yeah, he to me is like Coach Riley in the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Like he just kind of made the movie for me. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't the main character, but he was so good in his role that
Right.
I thought he was awesome.
I thought that it was like an SNL character in a way. Like he was so good on SNL. He just like it was such like a weird character, and it
Yeah.
kind of had a duality to it.
Yeah.
And he plays that so well, and it was just he was leaps and bounds better than anyone else in the movie.
I know we typically recast these things, and we have a point about that later, but you'll find that it was very difficult for us
Yeah.
to find any replacement for him. So why don't we just get into like what worked and what didn't? I mean, at a very high level, and then we can dive into some of the bigger bullet points that we wrote down. So what worked for you in this movie?
Well, first of all, it's Arnold. I mean,
Yeah.
this movie's for Arnold. It's made for Arnold. I mean,
I'm positive it had to be written for him.
the movie. I mean, he's not a good actor, obviously, but it's not why he's an actor. It's not why people love him.
Yeah. He's got that charm.
Right. So, but if Arnold wasn't in this movie, I feel like it would just be sad and depressing, kind of.
Yeah.
You know,
I
imagine
think
just
that's a good point.
imagine a
actually.
regular guy. We'll recast it later. Also Sinbad was another thing that worked for me. You needed a stand-up role with a little bit of improvisation.
Yeah, like the
improvisational
chops.
skills.
You got the chops.
Yeah, to kind of like carry Arnold through these comedic moments, because Arnold doesn't have the verbal comedy down. He has physical comedy down. He doesn't have
Yeah.
verbal comedy. That's what Sinbad was for.
The fast talking
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, and also the message of the movie, like the consumerism, it was very good commentary all about how these parents will kill each other for these toys, and they'll also spare their family time in order to get them, and they kind of lose track of what the holiday season is all about.
And they kind of think that getting the toy is the important thing,
Yeah.
not like trying to spend time with their kids.
Right.
Right.
So, I mean, as little plot as this movie does have, it did kind of have a nice holiday message
Yeah.
there throughout. So,
Yeah.
What
No,
about-
I agree with you.
and anything else?
I don't know. I for me, I think that's, you kind of nailed it. I liked that it was kind of cartoony. Like
Yeah.
it didn't take itself seriously. Like even to the point where like bombs exploded and it like the guy lived. Like it was very campy and
Yeah.
like it was not serious.
It
And I liked
was
that.
almost like Looney Tunes-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that. I think
Yeah.
that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like it made it more fun.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty good.
And also, one last thing is, I like the kid in it too. I liked Arnold's kid. I thought that he was very realistic as a little kid.
Yeah.
I have an 8-year-old nephew,
Okay.
and this kid has a lot of the same mannerisms. What'd you think of the kid?
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. So that if you look at my list, I know we compiled lists separately here, but my list for what worked and what didn't work,
Yeah.
the first item on my list for what didn't work for me is, I'm going to read it verbatim, okay?
All right.
This is exactly what it says.
Yeah.
What didn't work? Caring about this kid getting his present. Bullet point 2, this kid sucks.
Oh, come on.
Listen, I do not like this kid at all. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I feel like, listen, I love your nephew. I think he could have acted a million times. He's not an actor, and I feel like he would have been better in this than this kid.
All right, so I have this 8-year-old
Star Wars kid.
Yeah, I have this 8-year-old nephew, and he's very, very outgoing, and he has a lot of the same mannerisms as this kid. Maybe I'm a homer here. Maybe I'm just loving this kid too much because I see my nephew in him. But some of the mannerisms, for example, he's watching the cartoon of Turbo
Yeah.
Man, and he's standing up when he's watching it. That's a kid move.
Yeah, kids do that. Yeah,
Kids
that's a
do
kid
that.
thing.
So I bet they put this kid in front of the TV and says, "Watch this movie like it's exciting." And he did the kid move. He stood up. I don't want to give credit to the writers or directors.
Yeah.
He did that on his own. That's a kid thing.
No way.
Yeah, he did it. He did it. Second of all, when he's explaining to Arnold what he wants for Christmas, and like he's so depressed because Arnold's kind of like,
Yeah.
Arnold screwed up, and we'll talk about the plot later. And
Sure.
he disappointed his son again,
Okay.
trying to get back at his son. He asks him, "What do you want for Christmas?" And he goes, kid jumps up and recites the commercial verbatim, including batteries not included. And he does the little voice inflections to like match the commercial.
Yeah.
That's a kid move. Total kid move. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen my own nephew do this. That leads me to believe that this kid has got it. He's got it. He's got it.
Let me ask you a question. Where is he right now?
I don't know.
Where did this kid get? Where did he go?
He landed Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah. Okay. He's also terrible in that too.
Yeah.
But I want you all to go Google this guy, okay? Because if you, like I said before, like, and I don't hate this kid as a person.
Yeah, you
I
do.
obviously
You
don't.
hate his guts. You wish he was dead. I
No,
know.
no, that's extreme. No,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
said
I don't
it.
think that.
I'm paraphrasing, but
But
they pretty
I-
much said that.
No, my thing is that I just didn't like him in this movie, but I want you all to go Google this kid. Go do a Google image search, because if you're like us, I said we're kids in the '90s. Boy Meets World is a huge show for us. I want you to look at like the first 5 pictures that come up for this kid. He looks exactly like he's worshiping Sean Hunter, and he's trying to look like Sean Hunter.
Yeah, he's late '90s grunge all the way.
I'm telling you, go look up Jake Lloyd. It comes up. I'll post it on Twitter. I'll put it on our Twitter page. But he looks exactly like him. But anyway, I don't want
greatest kid actor of our generation.
I don't want to talk too much about this kid. But another note that I had, and I don't know why I put it under what didn't work, because I think it's funny. I noticed that this movie, so one of in the opening credits, a lot of movies don't always do that anymore, but opening credits, it was the guy who wrote this movie. His name is Randy Cornfield with a K. Now, listen, that sounds like a pseudonym to me, okay? Like a name, like a fake name for somebody who's embarrassed. Like I know this quick story here. I had a friend of a friend who knew somebody that was a musical composer person. And they, I guess they were telling the story. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. Okay. But they were saying to break into the industry, you have to do a lot of work. So some of the work that you have to do is not necessarily work that you'd want to put your name on.
I see where you're going.
Music that might appear on Cinemax at 11:30 on like a Friday night.
Do you think I'm familiar with this guy's work?
I don't know. Maybe you might be. But anyway, this I guess this thing that reminded me of it was that story, because it's like they said that they would need to get work, so they'd need to put themselves out there, but they couldn't use their real name because they didn't want to say that they were in, so-and-so movie.
It's you, isn't it?
Right. No. I am not a musical person.
So if a guy walks up to you and he goes, you're talking about composers, you're like, my favorite composer is? It's Randy Cornfield. You know that guy's watching the Skinemax.
I mean, Randy Cornfield sounds exactly like something from that. It sounds like an actor in the movie.
No, he was totally embarrassed to have his name attached to this movie, and I get it.
I mean, and rightfully so, because I get it. Like, it's a family movie, but it wasn't great. Like, I still loved it, and I'm gonna say that the whole episode here while we record this. I love this movie so much.
but we love it.
So we're totally biased. Yeah. But
you're right. Not his real name at all. 100%.
Right.
Yeah,
so
can't be.
I mean, we talked a little bit about this too, but one of the things that we said about Gone in 60 Seconds was the relationship between the brothers.
Yes.
The main thing for me in this movie is the relationship between Arnold and his son.
Right. And
Arnold is a terrible, horrible, deadbeat dad.
He was never there.
He's just working.
He was never there.
He's working, trying to make some money for his family, but he gets so wrapped up in his work that he just forgets that he has a family.
He's selling mattresses, right?
Yeah, I guess, right? I mean, is that what he's doing?
Right. I believe it's mattresses of some kind.
I looked it up, and I mean, I couldn't look it up. I was just watching it, and I was like confused because it had the computer system on like this really old like Mac computer.
Yeah, it was terrible.
He had like a laptop that was like bigger than today's desktop. It was pretty dated, but he's like telling everyone he's the number one customer, and like gets to a point where he's talking to his wife on the phone, and like he ends the call with his wife by saying, "Don't forget, you're my number one customer." And it's like, and then he's like, "Oh, oops." And that just showcases like how bad he is, but how great he is.
Yeah. See, so I had a problem, and it was, do you believe for a second that a man looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger would be any kind of businessman?
No.
And I'm not just talking about the muscles. I'm just talking about his face, talking about his voice. Everything about this is just no. I don't believe it. It's so unbelievable. That's the number one most unbelievable. People got exploded in this movie. People were flying in jetpacks in this movie. People were beating up Santas in this movie, but I can't get past Arnold as a businessman.
Selling mattresses?
It's just not happening.
Who buys a mattress over the phone, too?
On Christmas Eve.
Who buys a mattress on the phone?
So the scene is he's burning the midnight oil. There's a Christmas party going on in his office. He's in his office, frantically signing papers. The phone's ringing off the hook. It's Christmas Eve. Who's buying these mattresses? But forget that. Is Arnold a businessman?
No, absolutely
not. Is there any chance in hell? A man
absolutely
that looks like
not.
this. Face, body, voice, anything.
But could he be a kindergarten teacher too? I don't know. I don't think so. You know? Yes?
Yes.
You think you believe him more as a kindergarten teacher than a businessman?
That movie's a true story.
Undercover cop.
That was based on true events.
We got to do that one at some point too. I don't know what the ratings are on that, but I would love to do that one because it's just a fun movie.
And the second thing, if I may.
Please.
Arnold, he's a big guy, right?
Yeah.
Muscular.
Yes.
Big muscles. muscle bound, bench press 1,000 pounds,
bodybuilder.
Would his body look like that if he was a workaholic?
If he didn't, I mean, I didn't see any weights in his office.
No.
Did you?
No. Would he be toned, ripped, shredded if he's never around to see his family? If he's answering the phone nonstop, ringing off the hook?
I don't think so.
If he was in shape and he got that high to a position, he'd be all flab.
What's the movie? Isn't there like a movie where some dude's like exercising in his office while he's on the phone or something? I can't even remember what it is, but it's like maybe I'm thinking of White Goodman, and it's not that, but I'm thinking
something
of a guy
where
like
he's just got the barbell while he's got a headset on or something.
Like, the guy having the headset, or maybe I'm thinking of McConaughey in Tropic Thunder where he's like playing Wii tennis while he's on the phone.
Well, he is doing that.
Like, I mean, that's not working out necessarily. I mean, I guess to some people it is, but in general it's not. But
right.
Unless he's doing that, short of that, great observation.
Right.
I don't think that
it bugged me. Of all the ridiculous things in this movie, those two things bugged me, and it's all Arnold based.
I mean, he's a pretty bad father, and I think he doesn't realize it though. That's the thing. It's innocent, It's innocent, and
he means well.
He does. He means well. He just thinks that he's putting food on the table for his family. They never really said what his wife does, so maybe she doesn't work, and maybe he's providing for the family. So he thinks, okay, I got to work hard so I can have a good life for my family.
Yeah.
But he's a bad father because I think you'll see it through the movie. He thinks more about material things than I think being a dad and kind of raising his kid and just being there for him.
Right.
Now, I'm not a father, so
right.
Obviously I know, like from a lot of other people that are parents, it's a pretty hard job.
Yeah.
It's a pretty hard job. So I'm not trying to belittle how easy it is to work and whatever, raise a family. But at the same time, like he made this whole thing about, I built this clubhouse for him and it was the greatest day because I built it and I gave it to him and it was this thing.
Right?
Yeah, right. I mean, what about the kid? Did he even want the clubhouse? Yeah. He said, I don't know. Did he even ask for it?
Well, he's not in it right now.
I think he built it thinking, all right, I'm going to do this and this kid's going to love me. Like he doesn't really know how to be a father.
You know what the kid wanted? He wanted to build it with him.
Yeah, I see. That's right. That's
and
probably
that's what we
true.
learned later in the movie. Not so much the clubhouse specifically, but he wants to spend time with his dad. Was your dad around?
Yeah.
Was he there?
I love my dad.
Was your dad working too much?
No. I mean, he worked a lot, but, he was always doing stuff with the family. So it's like he wasn't, I mean, I have a great dad, so I can't say that it was better or worse or whatever, but it's like for me, he tried to spend time with the family. It wasn't like, let me buy this for you and now I'm happy.
He didn't build you a clubhouse though, did he?
No. Papa Drew, man, I gotta call him up. No, but
your dad's great.
Throughout this movie, though, I mean, you see kind of how bad he is. Why don't you tell us about some of the stuff he does?
All right, so I have a list of crimes that Arnold committed throughout this movie in order to get his son, the Turbo Man.
Turbo Man.
Well, first of all, he's trying to steal toys from children. I mean,
that's like pretty bad.
So there's theft. It's not grand theft, but it's theft.
Petty theft.
He impersonates a police officer in the Santa shop. So
with a toy badge.
Yeah. So when he's trying to bootleg the Spanish Turbo Man, which he tries to do from a mall Santa, which by the way is Jim Belushi.
Yeah, awesome scene.
Yeah, great cameo.
I'm pretty sure Big Show was in there too.
Yeah, the Big Show was in there. I think Vern Troyer was in there too.
Yeah,
there's a lot of nice little cameos in that scene. But yeah. So when the cops try to bust the ring, he just picks up a toy badge and impersonates a police officer. That's a felony, son. Felony.
I like how the cops completely fell for it too.
Yeah.
Like he didn't think twice about it. He just picked up the badge. It was awesome. I love that scene. It's one of my favorites.
Punches a reindeer in the face.
Where's the PETA people at right now? I mean, if this movie came out right now, that would be like a major violation.
And then later he gets it drunk when they're bonding.
Yeah. Like drunken, misery.
Yeah. Property damage to multiple stores and his neighbor's home.
He almost burns it down.
Almost burns it down. Sets his, what is it, a nativity scene or something? Or
yeah.
Some kind of head on fire.
Nativity scene.
Jeez.
What I don't understand about it, and I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but when that head is in, he's like trying to sneakily steal the toy, right, from the kid because he's pissed at Phil Hartman.
He resorted to trying to steal Phil Hartman's son's toy.
What I don't understand is, I know that the plastic head got into the fireplace. I don't even know how it got in there, but it was in there and it was smoking. So what would you do? Like, I know it was smoking, so get the hell out of there. It's not going to burn the house down because it's in the fireplace.
Yeah.
He kicks it out to try to like put it out, and it just basically lights the whole thing on fire. It's like, I mean, it's just physical comedy, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was the right move.
Keep the fire contained to the fireplace,
In
you
the
say?
fireplace. But that's conventional
I don't
wisdom,
know.
right?
The biggest crime is probably he's an accessory to a bombing in the radio station. The Sinbad has a bomb in the radio station. So that's terroristic crime right there.
Oh man, he'd be in Guantanamo right now.
Anyway, I move on and on and on and on. We could spend hours on Arnold, but obviously Arnold, bad dad, but lots of comedy along the way, a lot of physical comedy, and he's terrible at saying his lines, and he's terrible at his improvisation. I can't say that word.
His what? Improvisation?
Improvisation skills are terrible.
That's why they got Sinbad, though.
With both Hartman and Sinbad, like they're trying to bounce stuff off of him,
Yeah.
and he just can't do it. And that's another thing about Arnold that I thought was kind of.
I loved it though. I loved
But
it.
it was great in the end. So who's next?
So one of my favorite characters in this movie, Phil the Phil Hartman.
The Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman.
What was his name? Ted.
Ted. Oh my God. Ted is such the name. Sorry to everyone named Ted.
Ted.
But if you're named Ted and you're friends with me, I'm worried about you stealing my wife.
Well, put it this way. It's like the way you say it. Ted.
I actually have a friend named Ted, so I got to watch out. But Ted, this character Ted is one of my favorite characters in the movie. One of my favorite characters probably in any movie I've watched. Just because
any holiday movie, he's in the tops there. He's so good.
And it could only be Phil Hartman, because Phil Hartman has the perfect amount of, he just is a regular dude. He's a regular looking guy. You know, he's not like a pretty boy like Rob Lowe or something like that. He's just a regular looking guy who went through a divorce, we find out. Yeah. And throughout this divorce, and we don't know why or how, I could speculate. Yeah. You know, he just has a thing for the ladies.
What did he do to cause the divorce? Like, maybe he didn't do it. Maybe the wife did it.
I
How
don't
did they
know.
split up?
I feel like, you know, he might be going to some meetings for some type of addiction.
Oh, of the not alcohol.
Yes. Because
not drugs.
The way that he operates in this movie, and I'm going to say operates because he's an operator.
He has a thirst.
Yeah, he's
has a hunger.
he's got a little hunger.
Yeah. For the
For
cookies, right?
The cookies. I mean, like we said in the beginning of the show, another man's wife's cookies are off limits.
Yeah.
You cannot take them. I don't care how good they look. I don't care how many chocolate chips are in those cookies. They're not your cookies.
He does not abide.
No, he does not abide by that law.
By the rule.
But in any event, this dude, I guess, went through a divorce, and he's now the perfect man. He's got all these women coming up to him at all these events. Like, you know, what does the one lady say to him at the basketball game? Hey, I baked you cookies. Thanks for, quote, fixing my screen door.
And she said it.
Yeah, in a very provocative
sexy.
way.
I was like, whoa.
And then what was the other one? Would you look at my porch light? You know, you being such a handy man.
Oh, he is handy, all right.
He's handy, right?
Yeah.
He's got a toolbox.
Those hands are everywhere.
Yeah. He's a little handy. So, I mean, this is like, I don't know, maybe this goes in with what's his name? Randy Kornfield might have written these lines in because while he was writing for Cinemax at 11:30 p.m., he was throwing some of these lines in. Because I feel like some of these lines are they crack me up every time. And obviously as a kid, you're not going to pick up on any of this stuff.
Right. This is the type of thing, this is what I'm talking about. As a kid watching this movie, this is gold right here, and it just completely flew over my head. I didn't care about it.
I have to say something, okay? Now, I have to say something about writers that can carefully put these innuendos in there in these family movies so that a kid has no idea what the hell they're talking about.
Right.
But an adult, like if I'm an adult and I'm watching that with my kid right now, I'm a little uncomfortable.
For example...
Because what if they know?
Like, for example, like SpongeBob does that very well.
Yeah, Ren and Stimpy used to do it.
There's a lot of adult jokes in SpongeBob and Ren and Stimpy cartoons like that, so both ages can enjoy it. But there is a skill involved in writing that. So Cornfield, good job.
I feel like, you know, that was really great. Yeah. And then you get together. I mean, there's another one like we should get together and swap recipes. Ooh. I mean, that's a little risque there.
That's a little too literal.
At one point, his kid, who I have another thing about his kid, and we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah. But his kid said, Jake Lloyd says, "Oh, your dad's so cool. I wish my dad was like that." And then the other kid says, Johnny says, "Oh, he wasn't always like this. Only until my parents got divorced."
Yeah.
Only until they got divorced.
Right.
So did they get divorced because he was creeping around? Or did he creep around because he never was able to?
I feel like you hit it on the head. He's
got
a bit of an addict.
He's got the tendencies.
He's got the tendencies. He's a little thirsty. So, right, when the kid said that line,
yeah,
I thought the mother was like dead or something.
Yeah, like she passed away.
I thought she passed away. And that's how Phil Hartman has custody of this kid.
Yeah,
because usually, how does the man get custody? So now that we know they're divorced, how did Phil Hartman get custody of this kid? Now, obviously, he's probably a good father.
Yeah,
I mean, all signs point to him being a great dad and a great guy. It's just that he's backing on the side here.
But is he a good father? Because there's that scene where the kids are playing in the other room and he's pissed because what's her name goes upstairs to take a bath. He's like trying to he's trying to work it.
Yeah.
And then she goes upstairs to take a bath and he has a second alone.
Yeah.
And the kids are being a little loud. They're just being kids.
Yeah.
And he's like, pipe down in there. He yells. He's so mad because he's just like really frustrated.
Yeah, it's getting out there, but still, on the surface, he treats them well. But
anyway,
what I was thinking, he got custody of this kid. You know how it happened?
How?
They're in court, right? Who's the judge? It's a female judge.
It's a lady judge, okay.
It's a lady judge. Now, this whole movie, every time Phil Hartman is interacting with any woman except for Arnold's wife, who he's trying to get with,
He's got that charm, man.
they're all eating out of the palm of his hand. So he sexes up that female judge, bing bada boom, he's got the kid.
He pulls a little
Does that
sneaky,
happen? That's the only
sneaky
logical
business.
explanation.
I can see it.
That's the only way.
I can see it. No, I believe it. I mean, but I want to say that he makes this movie because without him, I feel like it would have just been an Arnold just acting cheesy. I think Sinbad adds some, and we'll get to that in a second. But I want to say that Phil Hartman to me is one of my favorite parts of this movie. I think he's hilarious. The way that he delivers a lot of these lines too. I mean, you already heard the cookie line. There's a million of these lines throughout the movie. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to look it up. It's very funny.
And quickly, why don't you go through the list of indiscretions?
Oh my
that
God.
Phil Hartman.
So I put together a list called the list of Phil Hartman violations. Okay, so
Violations against what? Violations against man?
Yeah, against
kind of like the man code.
He's violating guy code.
Yeah,
he's violating guy code. I'll go through these quick because I don't want to spend too much time. But he puts up the Christmas lights on Arnold's house before Arnold gets home.
I was so pissed when I saw that.
Major violation. Oof. See, that didn't make me the most mad, but you said it did. It made you the most mad.
I thought that was very, very just the total violation.
I mean, that is the ultimate. It's not the ultimate because you'll see the ultimate in a second, but that is up there with violations.
Even though the lights weren't up and it was Christmas Eve. Get the hell home, Arnold.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of his fault too.
Howie.
Like, stop being a jerk.
Howie Longfield? I don't know.
Langston. Howard Langston.
Go on.
So, also he videotapes the karate class, but like he's making a point to also videotape his son, and that's at the point where you think he's being a nice neighbor.
Yeah,
he's trying to help out.
No, but all of these acts, he's kind of put it in Arnold's face.
Yes,
that you're not there. I am.
He's making a point.
I'm making a move on your wife. And so without saying it,
he buys his kid a reindeer. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's not a violation, I guess, but it's just that to me is just come on, dude. Come on. So he owns this reindeer, and then he also, I mean, we heard it with the cookies. He's finishing the cookies while his wife takes a bath. I'm sorry, you should not be at a man's house while his wife is upstairs taking a bath. That's a violation. That's a violation, and he encourages her to take the bath.
Oh, it's his idea.
Yeah. This is Cornfield here, man. Cornfield knows what he's doing. But and then the other thing too, which was the ultimate, was Arnold comes home and he sees him putting the star on the top of the tree. And like his wife calls him out on it, but she doesn't take it down.
No.
And then he sees it through the window. He doesn't really hear the conversation, but she's like, "Hey, that's Howard's job. That's kind of messed up."
Right.
He tries to put the move on his wife in the car.
Yep.
He's like, "Oh, I know how you've always wanted me. It started at that night when you asked me about how to marinate my ahi tuna."
See, he played his cards too fast.
Yeah. He tried to rush, and what's the rush? Like, I don't understand. And I'm not trying to, say that you should go steal someone's wife here, but
I'm thinking maybe there's some kind of club where it's like there's a contest, the sex addicts club. They're trying to bang the most wives.
Like a bunch of creeps?
Yeah, they're trying to bang the most wives before Christmas. That's why he had to pull the trigger. It was now or never.
Listen, I don't want to go back to too many old movies that we've done.
Yeah.
But what other movie was in Minnesota and a guy who had a thing for moms?
Gordon Bob Bay.
Do you think that they're hanging out? Like, I don't want to say that these movies have like a shared universe, but do you think that maybe they met at that club?
They do have a shared universe.
The rehab?
And yes, Bob Bay's in Minnesota. This movie takes place in Minnesota. Bombay in 92, remember, he was kind of timid about getting Charlie's
He was
wife.
getting his feet wet.
Yeah, about getting Charlie's mom, right? So 5 years down the line, he's a more seasoned veteran of wife stealing, mom bagging. You know what I mean? So he starts this club.
What would you call this club? I mean, we need to create a name.
Yeah, we'll call it the Creep Hall of Fame, right? Where,
I think that's perfect.
So if you just get this Creep Hall of Fame, where it's where you just creep on all the women.
Can we create, like, I think what we need to do is we need to create, so I'm sure there's going to be more creeps in these movies that we watch. We need to create this.
I mean, 2 out of 3 so far. I mean, so whereas Bombay was trying to get all the hockey moms.
Yeah.
Phil Hartman here was trying to get with all the wives of the neighborhood. Now,
like the neighborhood, that's
So how many wives and moms in that little neighborhood cul-de-sac do you think he got to?
I mean,
before he started working on Arnold's wife?
How many houses did you say there were? I mean, we did the math.
Let's say there's 20 houses, just the block, up and down, both sides of the street.
I'm going to say, okay, so if he's only going after divorcees at this point.
No. I would say divorcees because Arnold
or singles.
Arnold's wife is happily married as far as we know, besides the whole absentee thing.
But I feel like this is a challenge for him. It was too easy before.
He worked up to this
like
moment.
He's only going after single ladies.
Okay.
Because that's what he has kind of like had experience with.
He doesn't want to get to that rep yet of taking a wife.
Right.
Okay.
Because that's like I said, that's pretty serious.
All right. So 20 houses. What's the divorce rate?
If you're looking at a divorce rate slightly over 50%, let's just say that. I don't know what it was in 96.
All right, we'll call it 50% to make it easy.
So that's like at least 10 moms.
So that's 10 houses with single wives, moms.
I mean, there was like at least 4 of them that were in the movie.
Yeah, that were just blatantly hitting on him.
But I couldn't tell if he was just over them, like he didn't have any interest in them anymore.
I think he hit it and quit it all of them because they all wanted more. Yeah, they were all very sexual in their innuendo, and he was like, yeah. Like he was done with them.
But because he had his eyes set on a higher prize.
Right. He was focused.
But I don't know why, listen, I'm not advocating stealing someone's wife, but if you're going to do that and you look like Phil Hartman, you better not go after a guy's wife like the husband looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, you know what he was doing though? I mean, it was like the ultimate challenge. It's like
most dangerous game.
Yeah, the most dangerous game is the most enjoyable.
I feel like Phil Hartman immediately gets inducted number 1 into our Creep Hall of Fame.
Creep Hall of Fame. We got to set that up on the website.
Let's put a page on the website and I'll put like a plaque or something. Yeah. Like we'll get him on there and we'll talk about like the violations and like what he does.
Right.
Because Bombay is like little league compared to this.
Right.
He's like Pee Wee hockey league compared to this. I feel like this guy is ultimate.
I love the coincidences. They're both from Minnesota. I love it. Yeah, they had to have gotten together. This is the only way.
Yeah, because they're in Minneapolis. It's like the same town. They might have even hung out at the mall together.
It's the only way that he made that move so quick on Christmas Eve because he had to get it done. It was a game.
Let's talk about Sinbad a little bit.
All right, let's get on to Sinbad.
I know we don't have that much time, but Sinbad to me, tell me about Sinbad.
Well, Sinbad, he's this ruthless mailman. He's a mailman, the same dad as Arnold, except also he's a single dad as well.
Yeah,
and divorced as well. And he's kind of on the fringe. He's kind of a lunatic. He's kind of crazy. Wants that Turbo Man doll for his son too. Kind of has past baggage about not getting the toy he wanted as a kid, and he relays this message to Arnold on a diner scene where it kind of ruined his life. Kind of changed his life that he didn't get the toy he wanted. It kind of set him down a spiral.
He had a bonding moment.
Yes. So, he's very quick-witted, terrible mailman, total disregard for the mail. He's throwing mail everywhere. At one point, he's trying to race Arnold for this doll.
He's throwing packages at him.
He's lightening the load by throwing packages. He's getting knocked down in the mall. Mail's flying everywhere. That mail's not getting delivered. There are Christmas cards. There's money in those cards. I guarantee it. There's gift cards in those cards. Nothing. They're all gone. Gone forever. So, what do you think about this? I know you already told me you have a very strong theory here.
So 2 things. First thing, I know mailmen and I know mail ladies all over the town, and I feel like they would never disregard mail like that.
No,
it's a very serious thing to them, and I know them very well. Like they're very nice and they're very, very protective that your mail gets to your house.
Right. The only other great the great terrible mailman in this world would be Newman from Seinfeld.
Yeah, right.
It's the only other one I can think of that's just
exactly
total disregard for all mail.
But I mean, real male people,
Yeah.
they're awesome, and they're
Right.
so good at getting you the mail. I have very much respect for them. Sinbad, I think, is impersonating mailman. My theory, and I'm not trying to go Hans on you here again.
No, go Hans on us, please.
I don't want to go full Hans,
Yeah.
but I have a theory to me that this dude doesn't even have a kid, or maybe he does have a kid and maybe he's divorced. Like, I mean, he is divorced, right?
Yeah.
But my theory is that he's not getting this doll for him,
Yeah.
for his kid.
Yeah.
He's getting it for himself, because if you listen to him talk, that scene, he's talking about how he wanted that thing. What was it? The Johnny 7 toy when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And he didn't get it. And he didn't get it. I feel like he's trying to somehow recreate his childhood for himself. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to go full Hans on you here, but I feel like, what if he doesn't really even have a kid? What if he's not even a mailman? What if he just kind of is dressing up like one because he like got out of the loony bin and he's just walking all over the town and he just wants this toy so bad? Maybe he thought he would get it in the mail.
Yeah. He just busted out of the mental asylum. It's just
He's classic mental asylum character.
It's that type of
material.
behavior. This he has blatant disregard for all human life. Remember, he fake chokes the woman in the line.
Yeah, that was messed up.
Yeah, has a bomb. I mean, he didn't make the bomb, but still, he used it to fool the police.
The thing is, he didn't even think that he was faking that it was one at first, and then like he shook it and it actually wasn't, and it was like the big reveal and it was funny.
Yeah.
But then he had another one, and like the cop tried to act like the cop, who, by the way, has the worst luck in the world.
Yeah,
completely, like, his bike gets screwed up. He burns his hands on coffee. He gets blown up in a bomb. Yeah. It's pretty bad. This cop has the worst luck ever.
So I'm totally with you on this theory. This is the theory where he's not a real mailman. He doesn't even have a real son. I'm with you. I'm going to go with that. That's true. That's gospel.
And I'll say this too. Another reason why he doesn't have a son, he was about to kill Arnold's son for the toy.
Yeah.
No person that actually has a son would do that.
He put his son in total danger in that parade stunt.
I don't care how bad you want that toy.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you 100%.
Anything else about Sinbad that you liked or you didn't like?
No, just the fact that his stand up was great in the movie. I think he did a couple of bits that sounded like stand up bits. That was kind of he was improv. When
you first get introduced to him, I think he does a really good job. Like you were talking about, like the consumerism
part. Yeah, that was total stand up material. And also, I thought he played a good villain. Like when he made the turn, especially when he turned into the Turbo Man villain. I forget his name.
Dementor,
whatever it was.
The brain guy.
Yeah, the ridiculous parade scene where he actually donned the costume. I thought that he upped his game. He really became a good cartoon villain. But let's move on. So
I want to just quickly hit on this because I feel like we really need to do this. But how would modern technology change this movie?
So if toys sold out, you got to pony up the scratch and go on eBay.
Yeah,
that's it. Easy.
I mean, you could pay, if he's a businessman and he's got this mattress shop, he could pay whatever he wants to get this thing.
If he's working all those hours, hey, he drops $300 on the fake Santa Spanish one.
The Spanish one.
Yeah.
My God. He could have easily spent that on eBay.
So how much did this toy cost, retail value?
So I don't know how much it cost.
What do you think anyway?
I don't know.
They never say it.
My personal thought would be it would be somewhere around like $20 if you're thinking about 1996.
All right, $20. We'll call it between $20 and $30.
Okay, look, do $29.99.
All right, $29.99. So if in Toys R Us, it's $29.99. How much does this cost on eBay in this day and age? For this kind of toy that's sold out everywhere.
So I looked this up. Okay, now today, you can buy the Turbo Man on eBay. I don't know what it'll be when this recording drops, but today, before we recorded, I looked this up on eBay.
Well, I put a bid in, so
you did. Okay,
it's
cool.
higher.
Hey man, it's almost Christmas. It was $189 on like a novelty item. So in this world, I'm gonna say that price is going to be upwards of like it's going to be $500
because they'll pay for it. They will.
Well, think about back in the day. Like, remember when Nintendo Wii came out and all these other things like Wii, PS4, or PS3 at the time?
The Wii was the one. It was hard. You couldn't get a Wii.
Because it was like $250, $299.
People were buying them up and reselling them on Craigslist and eBay real quick.
I mean, the markup on something like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think maybe at the time, if I'm talking about this thing's going to be hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I agree. I think $500 is a good eBay price because they'll buy it. All those people were trampling each other for them.
Think about this movie, if eBay existed, if Craigslist existed, they could have said, hey, I got this thing, I'm going to get it right now. I mean, obviously he'd have to overnight it to himself. Even Amazon.
Yeah.
If he got it on Amazon, he could get it or something. Like, I don't know.
Right.
But I mean, this toy was nowhere to be found in this town. Nowhere. He couldn't, I don't know. I don't even know why he didn't look at driving somewhere else.
Well,
he didn't
he's in
even
the
drive.
town where the Mall of America resides. I mean, if it's
true.
not there, where's it going to be?
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
but there was no mom and pop shop out like in Gordon Bombay's town, like a little outside of the city. I don't know. So I don't know. I mean, there's probably other ways. I want everybody else to write into us. What modern technology would you guys think would change this movie? What other ways? I mean, we're talking about eBay, Craigslist.
Yeah.
You know, what do you guys think? Leave a comment on the SoundCloud player. Leave a comment on the website. Let us know what you think. So real quick, let's break down this last final finale scene.
Act. Yeah.
The final act, like this crazy part of this parade.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes of the whole movie.
It's
Tell me
completely
what
absurd.
happens.
I mean, we don't have to spend a lot of time on it because it's so absurd, it's so ridiculous that it's not even worth nitpicking, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically, there's a parade with Turbo Man, and he's going to have this scene, and he's going to give the Turbo Man doll away to a kid in the audience, and then the villain is going to come in, and they're going to fight, and blah, 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 blah. Well, Arnold accidentally gets roped into being Turbo Man, and then Sinbad comes through as the bad guy and steals the costume of the villain, and they kind of have a showdown.
Yeah.
Sinbad steals Arnold's kid, who Arnold points out to give the doll to, endangers his life, gets him on top of a building,
Almost
kid
kills the
falls,
kid.
almost kills the kid, and the mother isn't overly concerned about her kids. I mean, she's concerned,
Yeah.
but it's like she would be flipping out, and she's like, oh dear, my kid.
Well, even at one point, somebody says like, "Oh man, look at it! Somebody's got to help," and they're like, "No, ma'am, this is part of the
show.
act."
Yeah.
But wouldn't his mom know
Well,
that it wasn't?
Yeah, there was plenty of times where Arnold and Sinbad were fighting as these two characters in the middle of the parade, and the mom of that kid, Arnold's wife, knows the kid's not part of the story. I feel like she would have ran into that parade as a protective mama bear and just snatched that kid out of danger before anything happened. Because the kid's like, well, it's ridiculous.
He's in danger.
Obviously, the kid isn't part of the show, or else the mom would have known about it. But anyway, there's a million things wrong with the scene, but also very right. So
Yeah.
it's not worth getting too into.
I have like a couple just quick
Go for
quick
it.
notes.
Go for it.
First, if Arnold's filling in for a guy who got into a jetpack injury and died or whatever, he's in the hospital. He's like, oh yeah, he's got brain function or something. I love how like one of the physically biggest men in the world, like this suit just happened to fit him.
Snugly fits.
It's
Perfectly.
like it snugly fits. He's a bodybuilder. He's bigger than like 95%
His
of the
clothes are
men in the
tailor
world.
made. Nothing fits him probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is hilarious. That was funny as hell. I also loved the marching band that had an electric guitarist playing like the song to the music. That was pretty
It was
awesome.
hot. I loved it.
And I also love like the police float, where the cops doing like flips, like while the float is going. That's like hilarious
See,
to me.
I hate parades, but I would be into this parade.
that parade was pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
I would be into it.
I would like that.
I hate parades, but this parade is great.
The other thing that I also loved, and I also thought it was hilarious, was when Booster falls off the stage.
Yeah.
Like the kids start like beating him.
They
up.
hate him.
Like they hate him so much. They were kicking him and like punching him. They're like, "We hate you, Booster."
They hate him because he's not Turbo Man.
That was
sad.
pretty funny, but it was
sad.
also kind of bad because if you're a kid watching that, you don't want to teach that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I also love how nobody recognized Arnold as Turbo Man.
Yeah,
But
that's the number one.
I guess if you're gonna have a bomb blow up and nobody dies,
Yeah.
it's realistic to assume that no one would recognize him. He's got a voice changer. He's got a visor.
But let me tell you this. Arnold has the most recognizable mouth in the history of mankind.
He does. He really
You could
does.
pick his mouth out of any lineup.
He really does.
So the wife and the son should see it, no doubt. But kids are stupid, so you can understand that. But the wife, she's like, "Oh, Turbo Man," and when she finds out that Arnold is Turbo Man, she gets turned on big time, doesn't she?
She does.
She's like, "Ooh, hey, wear that in the
that's-
bedroom," you know.
And the funny thing about that is like, so the kid doesn't want the toy anymore.
Yeah.
He just wants his dad because his dad's Turbo Man.
Yeah.
And that's the proof that this kid is actually a pretty good kid.
Good message.
The parents raised him right.
Yeah.
The parent raised him right because
Yes.
Arnold was never around.
One parent, yeah.
But I feel like he was a good kid. He was actually a nice kid, and he gave the toy to childless Sinbad, who he gave it up because he's like, I don't need the toy. I got real life Turbo Man in my house.
Right, that's great.
But like, what do you think? So what happens after this movie? Do you think that the next day the kid like realizes, hey, my dad is not actually Turbo Man, and like he lied to me again? I mean, my dad's like this liar.
So let's paint the scenario. It's Christmas morning. There's no Turbo Man under the tree. Obviously, the kid knows he's not getting a Turbo Man. That's fine because he has the real Turbo Man at home.
Yeah.
Come to find out, wait, my dad isn't really Turbo Man. He's just Howie again. and he can't fly,
and
he doesn't fight crime.
Does he assume that he's just going to walk around in that suit all the time?
I think he does. I think he thinks he literally is Turbo Man. I think this kid is of the world where Turbo Man really exists.
Yeah.
He's going to be disappointed big time. And there's no toy to fall back on. Or is he done with Turbo Man?
No, maybe he finds the next thing or something. I don't know.
Once he realizes Turbo Man isn't real, he's like done with it.
But I feel like you're right. Like he thinks that his dad is actually Turbo Man, and he's going to be like expect his dad to be walking around in that costume. Well, guess what? Daddy's going back to the mattress shop to sell some more mattresses.
Listen, people gotta sleep, right?
I feel
they gotta sleep.
I feel like people gotta sleep. I feel like the next Christmas is going to be this all over again.
Well,
because I feel like he didn't learn his lesson. You know what I mean? It seems like he did.
He lucked into saving the day. He really did.
Yeah.
He was gone all Christmas Eve. He was gone.
Right. And because he was trying to find this toy.
Yeah.
Because to
Almost,
him, the toy represented the love.
Yeah. Almost got replaced by Phil Hartman.
Jamie.
So let me ask you, next month when Jamie's going up for his green belt or whatever, his next karate demonstration, is Arnold going to be there for that? He's going to miss that too.
No, he's going to miss that.
He's going to miss it, right?
He's going to miss that. Does Phil Hartman move out of town because he's scared of Arnold kicking his ass now?
No. Well, let me ask you this. When Arnold disappoints all next year, does Phil Hartman continue? Does he keep going? How long does it take? How long does it take for Phil to get in there with his wife?
I don't think it would be successful because I just feel like he rushed it. Had he waited
I guess he already
longer,
blew it. She already busted him up,
Yeah, because he went like, I don't know what the rush was. Like he just
it was Bombay Sex Club. He tried to get it in before Christmas and it didn't work.
He was way too impatient.
He was.
And again, violation, total violation.
He played it so slow for so long, you got to wait a little bit more.
Yeah, total violation. Yeah. Anyway, so I know we always try to change out the actors. Yeah. We can't do it with a lot here, but we talked about a couple. Tell me about some of the changes.
Right.
Here.
Well, Arnold you can't change because it makes the movie the what it is. It wouldn't be funny if it wasn't Arnold because it would be depressing.
Like you said, it would be sad without him.
Sinbad was great in this, I felt, as this role, but it would have to be another stand-up actor, I feel, because they have to have the quick wit, the chops.
Who are you thinking?
I was thinking Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I can see that.
Eddie Murphy, after towards the mid to late 90s, he was in some family movies, Nutty Professor. He started doing other kids' movies on Norbit. I don't know, some other stuff, whatever, some other crap. Yeah. Eddie Murphy was too good for this movie back then, but he would fit this mold of quick wits. Now. He could play a dad, and that quick talking, easily it could be Eddie Murphy. That's my pick. The wife doesn't matter.
Literally anybody.
Her lines are so wooden, it doesn't matter.
She wasn't really in it much, too.
It's Tom Hanks' wife. I forget her name.
Yeah, Rita Wilson,
I think.
Yeah, Rita Wilson.
It's Tom Hanks' wife in real life.
I mean, she did a good job for what it was.
I mean, she wasn't terrible, but it's like the character was hollow. There's nothing to it.
Yeah, and that's part of the writing, so thanks a lot, Cornfield.
Yeah.
What is it, Barry Cornfield?
Barry Cornfield.
I don't know, something. Whatever. Cornfield, whatever.
Yeah. And Phil Hartman, like, it's very hard to, like, he was SNL. Think of all the SNL alums, like Mike Myers, Dana Carvey. They all don't match. It's all Phil Hartman. Like, none of them can match this.
What's the dude that did Ladies Man? What's his name?
Tim Meadows.
Tim Meadows. I feel like he could have done it.
He might be the next best of that list.
Yeah, and he was in some stuff. I mean, but I feel like he would be the only other one. I mean, we looked up SNL like literal cast members, and I couldn't see anyone on that list
can match the chops of Phil Hartman.
Hartman was awesome
because he's good. He's so good at like immersing himself in a role.
Yeah,
and kind of playing this dual character.
Dude, he was so funny in that role. Like I loved it. He's more than half, and I love Arnold more than a lot of people, but I feel like he was so much more the reason why I love this movie because he was so funny.
Yeah, and I don't know. The other thing was maybe a guy like Alec Baldwin. I don't know.
I don't know.
He's got a big face.
I mean, I feel like he could do it.
He has that soft spoken like nature to him.
Yeah,
but I don't know if he's like, I don't know, for lack of a better word, sexual enough. I don't know. He's not. I don't know. He doesn't have that like, that go-to.
He's not a creep.
He's not a creep. Right. He's not a creep.
But he is a creep in real life, though, isn't he?
Well, he's had his family problems. I don't know if he's a creep or not.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's not stealing wives, but I mean, neither was Phil Hartman. But Phil Hartman's a like class actor. I feel.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like Alec Baldwin is too like lumpy. I don't know. You know what I mean? I can't describe it, but you know exactly what I mean.
I get you. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I think, and I'll say this, I know you disagree with me on this, but they could have casted any other kid. I'd like to see your nephew in this movie over this kid. I'm sorry.
No, this kid was perfect. He acted like a kid. He was very natural. You just don't know. This kid has great things ahead of him.
Agree to disagree.
In 96, this kid, the sky's the limit. I would bet on it.
I know we like to do changing the ending and creating the sequel. We kind of did that a little bit, but we don't really need to create a sequel, do we? Because it's already been done.
Yeah.
As of what, like a week ago?
I saw a commercial. Brand new movie, Jingle All The Way 2. Straight to DVD.
That bothers me, okay? Yeah. It makes me mad.
Yeah. Who's it starring?
It's Larry the Cable Guy.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Larry's in the car.
Must be a winner, right? Sure.
But it was WWE
It's a
films,
WWE
right?
production films.
Because, what is it, Santino's in it?
Santino.
Which is so odd because he's not even like a main character.
Guy, yeah, I don't know. It's destined for failure. I thought it was odd that they would...
It's direct to DVD, right?
Yeah, but we talk about this. People, like production companies, they do it all the time. They buy the rights to the name Jingle All The Way or American Pie Presents blah, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with the other characters in
I
the
feel
movies.
like they're just selling out. Like they're selling the property, the name.
But I felt like this movie doesn't have enough pull to like generate sales. Like you see Jingle All The Way, I feel like it won't make you want to buy the movie. I don't know. I don't get it.
It's not remembered like, some of these other movies. Right. Like, yeah, it's remembered because it's on television now, but it's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, I'm sorry, Larry the Cable Guy, maybe to some people he's like a huge star, but to me, there's no comparison. I mean, you have a guy like Arnold, and then you have him. It just doesn't work. It's
weird. It doesn't make sense. I don't know. He has an audience, though, so I'm sure people will buy it.
Yeah, I mean, not for us, but whatever.
Other people,
to each his own.
Yeah,
to each his or her own.
Sure.
So I want to leave you with this before we reveal next week's movie, because I mentioned in the beginning we're doing a 2-part Christmas special.
Yeah.
So without revealing the movie that we're going to do, because you already know it.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite Christmas movies? Like, what do you watch every year that every Christmas time, like you got to watch it with your family, with your nephew?
Everyone says A Christmas Story. I feel it's a little overrated.
Yeah, I think so too.
Maybe it's because of overexposure.
Yeah.
I
it's
like
on 24 hours a day.
I like Scrooged. We actually watched that last week.
I love that.
That's great.
Bill Murray's awesome.
Yeah. I really like Trapped in Paradise.
That's a great movie.
With Nick Cage. And Dana Carvey and John Lovitz.
Hashtag all you need is Cage.
Yeah. Obviously Nick Cage. He played it straight. I don't know. What else? I like...
what about Christmas Vacation? Come on.
Christmas Vacation. I forgot about that one. Jeez. Die Hard is another one, right?
See, that's disputed. Some people argue that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It takes place in Christmas time.
Yes, but there's a lot of Christmas all throughout that movie, though, and it's part of the plot.
I agree with you,
and it raises the stakes of the movie. I feel it being Christmas time. I don't know. It just kind of does. It makes it bigger.
I want to pose that to the listeners too. Yeah. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not? Write in.
And
leave
I know.
A comment on
and the
player.
thing is, I know it's a thing for people to argue it's a Christmas movie just because like people like to troll other people, especially. Yeah. I feel like wives and girlfriends who argue, no, it's not. The husband or boyfriend or whoever will like troll the wife.
Yeah, because we got to be tough guys.
Yeah. And it's a thing to say it is, but I think it truly is.
What's your ultimate Christmas movie? Is it? I mean, is the one we're doing next week? Is that your ultimate one?
I guess so. I mean, it's really hard to say. I mean, I like Gremlins a lot too.
Gremlins is
you don't think of Gremlins? That Gremlins is kind of forgotten. That's a great Christmas movie. But I guess our next one would be.
To me, I would say my ultimate's Christmas Vacation, just because it's like such a classic, and I actually recently watched that with like my brother-in-law who had never seen that before.
Yeah.
And I think he really liked it. It's interesting to see how someone would react to that, being that it's an older movie for someone who has never seen it before. Like, you wonder if they would think it's as funny, because there's like some slapstick humor in there. But I love that movie. It's one of my ultimate favorites.
Yeah.
But I think the movie that we're going to do next week, so we got some notes from people. I just want to say this. We kind of like were flying by the seat of our pants with the first couple episodes here. We weren't really planning on releasing the next one, but now that we've got like more of a set schedule here at the beginning of every week, we want to tell you guys what movie's coming out so you have a chance to watch it and listen with us. So we want to give you some time to know what it is, so you have some time and to watch it. But next week, why don't you tell everybody what we're going to watch?
So next week we're doing Home Alone, which is probably my ultimate Christmas movie. Stars Macaulay Culkin, Kevin Arnold, Kevin McAllister, Kevin Arnold. Was he Wonder Years?
Yeah, Wonder Years.
Whatever.
Whatever. Same difference.
Hey, I've had a few. Just kidding. Or am I? No. Growing up, my name's also Kevin, so the line "Kevin, you are such a disease." My sister, plenty of times, has told me I'm a disease. Scarred me, but also I love it. So
That's awesome.
we'll get into that next week.
Also, fun fact, you told me this before, Joe Pesci in that movie was supposed to be in Jingle All The Way, right?
That's
what you
right,
told me?
Originally,
I didn't know that.
Joe Pesci was up for the role that Sinbad played in Jingle All The Way, but I guess the producers went in another direction. I read it on Wikipedia, so I can't confirm that it's 100% fact, but I believe it's true.
I feel like that would have been a completely different movie.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Pesci's the kind of guy, he could pull that off. I don't know.
Do you think it would have been better or worse?
It might have been a little bit better. Joe Pesci, well, I don't know. I liked Sinbad.
It would have changed the tone of the movie.
It would have.
Because Pesci's like, good
Sinbad's
fella.
more playful, right? You're a little scared of Pesci, even though
Pesci might get a pipe out and beat you over the head.
Yeah, Pesci was a little scary in Home Alone.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. So, and again, I think some of these movies we mentioned before, the critics, if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes scores, they're not as high as you would think. So that's kind of why we want to look at these, because I feel like a lot of kids' movies, we said that when we were watching Mighty Ducks, the critics don't really like them that much. I don't know if they're trying to review it as an Oscar film or something, but it's just a fun movie.
Well, yeah, it's just, some of these are fan favorites, and rightfully so, but
Home Alone,
we're trying to see why, critics rate this movie poorly. Why is that? And if our versions, would it be better?
Yeah.
These questions that we ask.
I'm looking forward to next week's episode, and I hope everyone else is.
There's a lot of hypothetical situations that we could squeeze through for Home Alone. So.
Yeah. So is there anything else you want to say about Jingle All The Way before we sign off here?
No, other than if it comes on TBS the next week, I'll probably watch it again.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, look, this has been fun.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed the show, stay tuned for more. I mentioned we're doing Home Alone next week. Let us know what movies you want us to watch in the future. If you have a recommendation, send it in. Email us, thelastRowpodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter @thelastRowPod. Look for us on Facebook. We're also on Google+. And leave us a voicemail, 415-779-5278. That's 415-779-5278. It also is last at the end. And finally, if you're out on iTunes, please hit us up on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review. Let us know what you think. It really helps us out. And if there's anything else, leave some messages on the SoundCloud player. You can leave notes right in the show. So that would be great to see what you guys think. Some of the notes we made, let us know what you think at those times too. So anything else?
Get out there, buy your Turbo Mans. Don't disappoint your Jamies. And keep your hands off other people's wives' cookies. That's about it.